Hi there, I'm Raf Garcia, a director at UK Education Guide, a UK leading comparison portal for international students, helping them and their families make really well informed decisions about studying in the UK. In this video, it is my privilege to introduce a video guide to Durham University, whereby we explore their offering from an international student perspective by asking questions of their admissions team and one of their current international students. So, let's hear what they have to say.
So, first of all, I am delighted to introduce Lauren, who is the International Officer at the University of Durham. Lauren, welcome.
Thank you. I'm loving being online. Can't really say being here, but yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Embracing the hybrid life. That's brilliant. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're going to dive straight in to your two questions. So, first and foremost, what are the two key aspects of support that Durham offer for international students to help them transition to degree study?
I guess the first one, and probably the most important one, I think, would be the colleges. Durham has a collegiate system. These are residential colleges, nothing to do with your sort of academic or admissions life, but they really help students to have a sense of community. Every student is a member of both their own college as well as Durham University. So they have support from the university, but having support in your college, it's kind of much more personalized. Instead of being one in 4,000 students, you might be one in potentially only 100 new students for that college. So you have your own support systems within the college. It's much easier to be a part of direct involvement in the college, either as student leadership or getting involved in their events, committees, societies. Just gives you so many different opportunities. And I think it feels more like a home, if I'm
Mhm.
allowed to say that. Um,
Absolutely.
so I think that would be the main one, the colleges. Second one would probably be the International Induction Week. So
Mhm.
before Freshers Week and all the fun that Freshers Week always entails, we have International Students Week where we have student ambassadors and college representatives. They come along and they try to help with the more practical aspects. Things like setting up phone accounts, setting up banks, showing students around the town, where's the supermarket, apparently when's the best happy hours at which clubs, that kind of vital practical information that students need. So I think they're probably two of the ones that stand out to me at least.
Absolutely. And it's all about that wraparound experience. It's conversations we often have with students. It's how would you prepare for every other aspect of your life above and beyond just the academic, which is obviously key. So thank you so much for that answer. And that it tails quite nicely into our next question, which is what is the one key piece of advice you would like to offer international students as they consider their university options?
Yeah. So my original thing was more to do with just one key piece of advice. Apparently, I took your keywords and then forgot the rest of your questions. Sorry, but it
So,
does
all
sort of work. Essentially, take every opportunity. So when you're looking
right.
at universities and studying abroad, potentially studying in the UK, it's not just about the academic life, it's everything that's around that. Universities have such a huge concentration of clubs, societies, events, committees, just opportunities generally. So take every opportunity you have. I was thinking in terms of at university, but I guess it also stands for prior to university. And yeah, make the most of what you're being offered, I think would be my advice.
Absolutely, and it's an integral part of the research in terms of understanding what you might want to have that experience. So really dive in and understand what each institution can offer on
Yeah.
more than just an academic level. So no, I think that's absolutely bang on. So that brings us to the very important time that we're fortunate enough to be joined by one of your students. We're joined by Yanka. Yanka, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Hi, Rob. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. It's great to have you with us today. So, if you could tell me very, very briefly a little bit about yourself, what year are you studying? What's your nationality? And what course you're on?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a final year student in law school. That means third year. And I'm from Antalya, Turkey, and I'm Turkish. And yeah, it's my final year. So it's really exciting to be graduating in June, which is also kind of crazy when you think about it. And yeah, I'm just delighted to be on the call.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to your words of wisdom. as you sort of come to the end of your degree studies. It's amazing how time flies. So let's dive into
Exactly.
the first question, and that is kind of, what were the top 2 reasons you selected the University of Durham?
Right. So I'd say the fact that Durham is a collegiate university would be one of those reasons. Lauren also kind of talked about it really well. And it's kind of like an obvious reason because this is a quite unique system and you don't really get to find this in a lot of other universities. So I really wanted to try that out. And what better time to try it out than your undergraduate level? So I went online, just searched. When I was searching for universities, I saw this really wonderful system, and I thought, why not give it a go? And the more I dived into it, the more I realized how supportive it is and how it makes it easier for you to transition to higher education. So I'd say, yeah, collegiate, that's a big factor. And the second one is, I think, so I'm from Istanbul. I studied my high school in Istanbul, and it's one of the more populous cities in Turkey. We have, I think, as of today, more than 17 million people living there. And I know how individualistic people tend to live their lives in a big city. Whereas Durham is a small university town, and everyone here is a student, and that's just wonderful to have because you go shopping, you see someone, you go to the gym, you see a friend. I really wanted to develop this sense of community where I studied, and I really have that in Durham. And looking back at the 2 years that I've been here so far, I can see that I really made the right choice on that.
Absolutely. It's always so powerful hearing, particularly the rationale for the students, and I think that what you talk about is so pertinent for international students because the collegiate system, the understanding the ways that some universities work in terms of their pastoral offering is so important, and getting a real flavour for what makes the university different. So thank you so
100%.
much for that diligent answer. And
Of course.
it absolutely segues into a brilliant, my favourite question of the whole interview, which is, what do you think is the one thing you'll remember about your life at university in 10 years' time?
Okay, yeah, well, I realize this is not the most entertaining answer, maybe, but I'd say my routine actually, because this is just so versatile how you can tailor what you want to do in Durham. You could go to a fashion show, you could go to the library, you could see your friends, you could go to the gym, all within a span of 24 hours. And I think that's just wonderful to have. And I assume that looking back at my university years, I'll just remember how packed my schedules were and how really lively my program was. And that's a good part of my experience so far.
Absolutely. And I think it's really interesting. We've obviously done this with many universities. That's one of the first answers we've had in terms of routine. But actually, when I reflect many moons ago on mine, is that the routine that you cultivate at university does perturbate post university and really does shape you. So I think that's
Exactly.
a really interesting answer. So finally, when we're talking to all of these international students, what is the one thing you wish that someone told you about university life that would have helped you make the transition to degree study?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a tricky question, in my opinion, because you need to think of something that you could have or should have done better. But when I self-reflect, I can see that I didn't realize how approachable the academic staff in Durham was, and it just made my life a lot easier in my final year to just break all those barriers and go for it. What I'd recommend to newcomers and freshers is to just visit professors in their office hours. Obviously, they're really busy people and they have a packed schedule as much as anyone else in Durham, but they do make the effort and the time to make sure you have the best learning experience here. And they're really nice people. So I just say, go to their office hours, drop them an email if you're curious about something that they're teaching, or if you need to ask something about their modules. Just be yourself, and you'll more than likely to be accepted by the academic staff as well. And yeah, I'd say that's what I wish someone had told me before coming here.
Absolutely, but I think we'll leave it on that incredibly wise words that sort of just
Thank
reach
you.
out and approach us. So absolutely. So on that note, we'll welcome Lauren back into the call, And I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your insights. And I look forward to catching up soon. So we'll see you later.
Yeah, of course.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Catch you later. Bye bye.